Good morning, and welcome to the live. Ooh, let me wipe my sweat. I don't know why I'm sweating. Give me 1 second, you guys. This has been one of those mornings. Did you hear me? One of those mornings. I woke up and started getting ready. I had to finish my notes up, but I got them done. And I am ready to do this live. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys watched Love and Marriage Huntsville on Saturday night. It was a very interesting episode. Um, I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go with this. Hey, Symmetry. I don't know where this episode is gonna land us. I don't know where this show is gonna go, child. At this point, um, I think we're masking a lot of pain and a lot of silliness. A lot of silliness. I don't know what that looks like for the group. But it's a lot of silliness that I see with the group. And I'm not sure again where this group is gonna go. Um, the very fact that Martell was there, Kimmy had in her mind that she felt like Martell would start some shit, and Chad he came in there and Martell literally set it off. He came in there, I believe, intentionally to kind of do what he did. And because he had a lot of smart aleck comments when he first got there. When I tell you again, this episode was a mess. It was definitely a mess. Definitely a mess. Um, Hold on 1 second. I am doing something. Anyway, so the episode again, like I said, it was a mess. Hey, Passion. I'm curious to see how you felt about this episode, Passion, because I know you have a lot of ideas. And this episode it was wild to say the least. It was wild. So let's get some pleasantries out of the way. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is a growing channel, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. I am growing organically, and I appreciate that membership, super chats, all of those things that you get when you start getting into monetization. And I appreciate you guys for joining my channel, for liking, for sharing it. I noticed people share it to Twitter and to other social media outlets, and I truly appreciate that. Truly appreciate it. So please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I enjoy the comment section. I enjoy talking. I enjoy laughing with you guys because you wouldn't believe I do get a kick out of our laughter sometimes. All views expressed in this live, they're all alleged. They're in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. Don't go out your way to dislike nobody. Please, and thank you. Um, when I tell you again, this episode this week kind of had me in a little tizzy, um, feeling a little way. I don't know why, but I kind of felt. I don't want to say the word. I don't want to use the word defeated, but I will say that I feel like, um, kind of felt like the ladies didn't get a chance to resolve anything, if that's a fair statement. I don't feel like they resolved a thing. I feel like the guys just kind of put a band-aid on it. I don't even think they put a band-aid on it. Cause even with the Chris and Marcel thing, I mean, what was the resolution in that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the resolution was, but yeah, what I do know is that it nothing seemed to get resolved to me. At least in my book, it didn't seem to get resolved in to me. I will say it that way. Today is Memorial Day, and it's a day that we honor and remember those who gave all, the ultimate sacrifice, which was their life. So to those who are gone, who gave the ultimate sacrifice, my best friend's uncle left home for Vietnam at the age of 18. He was the baby boy of his family, and unfortunately he returned in a box, as his mother used to say. And um I always think about that when I go to any Vietnam War wall or whatever. I always look for his name. And may he rest in peace because he lost his life in battle. Memorial Day, remember and honoring the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms, those freedoms that we do enjoy today in America. Child, all those that they ain't trying to take from us. I'll put it that way. Anyway, let's get on into the episode. Fair use disclaimer. I don't know if I'll be pulling out some things that I may use it. I may need this for because I'm not sure. I have some clips, but I'm not sure if I'll use them. For some material in this video is used under U.S. copyright fair use, Section 107, for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. My allergies are trying to act up. Patch LOL, I was just thinking that, oh, honey, when I tell you this episode was wild to me, it was wild. The episode opens up with Kimmy. She's sitting at the island at their house, and she has some goodies in front of her. And we see Maurice come in, and he asks Kimmy what she's doing. And she said that she's making bags for the getaway trip that they're fixing to embark on. And we see Kimmy's candles, and I forgot that Kimmy had a line of candles. Anybody else remember that? You said, yes, rest in peace to all loved ones. Blessed to still have my 90-year-old U.S. Marine Corps. Oh, girl, give him a big, tight hug from me. Yes. I'm one of those people who take care of our nation's heroes. And I absolutely love all the veterans. I absolutely do. I forgot that Kimmy had a candle line. So I'm glad that she reminded us that she had a candle line. She has games that she says she's putting inside the bags. And she asked Maurice, you can have a couple trip without what? And he responds with, girl, sex. Child, if she don't stop asking him silly questions and expecting a reasonable answer. Anywho, Kimmy shows us the venue in Huntsville, Alabama. She gets her laptop and she starts scrolling through, showing us the different cabins. Look like they were cabins. Look, they're homes, but they look more cabin style. And it was a beautiful setting. I would say Kimmy did a job well done on this vacation in Huntsville. Kimmy said it was close to glamping, so she thought that would be great for the group. Kimmy said maybe they could have some good fun, some good food, and good conversation. As fate would have it, maybe they can get past some of these little issues that are floating around. But child, Kimmy, I believe you got some issues that you ain't told us about that you harboring, but we're going to move on into that later. Kimmy and Maurice said it's time to do a reset. And I totally agree, but I'm not sure if they reset it on anything because to me, this episode gave a lot of nothing. Even though it was a cute little scene, they really didn't do anything justice. To me, they didn't. Kimmy mentions that Tisha was emotional, talking about her marriage with Marcel, blah, blah, blah. And they discussed Tisha and Marcel and their dynamic, their marriage, what Marcel told Maurice and what Tisha told Kimmy. They just kind of sat down and had a little conversation about it. Kimmy says she felt like they should leave Martell off the list. And Maurice says, well, Martell hasn't been acting up lately and he's been doing good the last couple of times. And Kimmy said, the last couple of what times? And Maurice responds, the last couple of times we were together. And then the confessional, Maurice says, you have to admit that Martell has been on his best behavior the last couple of times. And Kimmy responds with, I don't have to admit one solitary thing. And Maurice says that he wants to foster that in Marcel, and he wants to encourage it. Child, Anywho, Kimmy said if she has to bet her money, Martell's gonna pop off. Kimmy then said, I'm not going to referee, and you are going to have to babysit. So she's telling Maurice. She said he wants him to come. He is going to have to be the sitter. Maurice said that they're going to have some fireside chats, burn it up, and leave it there. Child, I bet they wish they had left Martell at home after this last scene of the episode, child. That you wish you had left him off the list. I bet you wish you had left him. Kimmy has stayed on mute basically all season, then tried to come for Martell and blew up in her and Maurice's face. Maurice tried to move on, but nope. I'm sorry to skip ahead, but she blew it. Passion, I kind of agree with you on it. I don't know. I believe Kimmy played a dangerous game and won a dangerous prize. Or she played a silly game and won a silly prize. Because child, I don't. What was the point? Girl, keep smacking on your food and go. Y'all have another night to be at this place. So why are you trying to cause commotion with Martell of all people? I didn't get it, but child. Anyway, next we're at the getaway. The name on the gate says the retreat, spell Retreet. I thought that was a cute way to spell retreat. Kimmy and Maurice, of course, they arrive first. We see them getting out of their Jeep and they're greeted by the general manager. Her name is Brenda. Next, we see Ken and Martell arriving. Maurice asks Ken, "Where's Trisha?" And Ken replies with, "She has court this morning." So my question is, so why exactly didn't you wait for her, sir? Why did you need to run ahead and be at the campsite without her? It don't make sense to me. Anyway, Maurice is giving directions on what cabins each one of the cast members will be staying in, and Martell is in one of the larger houses. The Fletchers have what they call the Love Shack. Maurice told Martell that he was one of the OGs, so he had to be up here. Is that what your choice, Maurice, or was that production's choice? Child, we know you ain't got no power, but go ahead with what you believe. Anyway, the Fletchers, I'm sorry. So I guess the rest of the cast is staying off from the main three cabins that we saw because they kept showing us these three large type building cabins on a hill, and I don't think that was the Love Shack. I don't think that's where Destiny was staying. I don't know. I don't think that's where Ken and Trisha was staying, and I have no idea where Will was staying. But apparently, he was staying somewhere in one of the cabins. So looks like the cabins may have been a little ways off, and then you had three main houses. So we see Destiny arrive at her cabin. I thought that cabin was super cute and perfect for a single person, a solo person. Kimmy, and even for a couple, beautiful little spot. Kimmy takes Tisha and Marsol to their cabin. It's a beautiful view. He said the cabins were cute. In fact, child, I've been looking at them. I was thinking I might need to take me a little trip because I like to do a little glamping and get some relaxation up under the air conditioner with a little view of the, little wooded areas. I love that. So I think that may be a spot I might go visit. Good point, because Martell been listed as producer on several episodes this season. Definitely. I don't think they had a choice. I'm sure Martell had, and I think that's why he was being a little flippy when he got down there to Destiny's cabin. Kimmy takes Tisha and Marsol to their cabin. It's a beautiful view. Ken and Trisha in their cabin, and they're all in their bags, and they begin to read their notes from Kimmy. The letter said, "Welcome to the Cuddle Retreat." Not couples, but cuddle. Cuddle. The goal is to have some outdoor fun, build positive new connections, burn away the old connections that don't serve you. Tonight, we will meet for a casual dinner, starting with Love and Love Jones Movie Theater. Spoken word goes a long way. This is your homework. Write a poem for yourself or a loved one and a note to someone in this group. Be ready to share later. I thought that was cute. Chad should have gave me some ideas for some of my girls' trips and we get together and have game nights around here. So she gave me some ideas on things to do, especially with girls' trip. Giving people when they get to their room, because we always do a bag, but it would be nice to have a note in the bag. Everybody read the note, and we probably should have did that on our last girls' trip. But babe, we're gonna have some more girls' trip, the Lord willing, and say the same. Give me a second. I gotta return a text. So next we see Martell going to Destiny's cabin. He comes in and says, "This is a cute little cozy spot." Destiny says, "Cute and little." Destiny then says, "You came in here trying to be fake since the Scots gave you preferential treatment." And Martell said, "He ain't going to have nothing but the best." But when I say cocky, that's why I said He didn't really have nobody had a choice. Martell's a part of the main cast, and of course he had to be in the big house. That's what that was. Um, Destiny repeats what Martell says, and he responds with "period." Destiny said, "So you're not nervous about being up there with them?" And Martell said, "Hell no." Martell said, "It's nice as hell out here." And Destiny says, "Yes, it is nice." And she went right back to the conversation about Martell being at the main cabins with the Scotts. You don't feel like there's a trap that you're up there with them? And Martell said, "Girl, what kind of trap could I possibly be in?" And Destiny said, "Oh, yeah, you said all this stuff and it's okay." And Martell said, "What stuff have I said?" All the while laughing. He knew exactly what she was talking about. Desi said that the man been cheating with 20 women. His wife was having an ex in the back of a Buick. Maurice need to know what color his thing is. And Martell said, "I'm still tripping on that one. What does it look like?" When I say Martell crazy, Martell is crazy. Destiny and Martell giving brother and sister, definitely giving brother and sister vibe. Because you know what? I would do the same thing to my brother. It sounds like a conversation I would have with my big brother about something crazy like that. Like you, because my brother, I didn't say he acts like Martell, because my brother has a really level head, but he crazy, like he do funny stuff. They'd be like, "You up there, you been pranking them people, and they're gonna set you up." Anywho, Martell said he ain't tripping on that, and he wants to have a good trip, is what he said. Destiny in her confessional says that Martell is optimistic and delulu. And whatever happened between Martell and the Scotts in the past always rears its ugly head. It never fails. But when I tell you Destiny can call it out, she literally called that one out. She literally called it out because it reared its ugly head, just like she said. Back at the Scott's cabin, they're talking about Ken and Trisha, and Mari said, "Yes, they are here, but Trisha isn't in the best of moods. She had court, and it didn't look like it went well on Trisha's face." That was our segue into Ken and Trisha. Child, when I tell you, Trisha mad, and you see they did their best not to talk about what happened in court. But I believe that we've seen the court documents and someone has read them out here on social media, that she was ordered for Ken not to stay at the house, and some other things that she had to comply with. The insides were adorable and probably so peaceful in that setting. Oh, I could only imagine, Passion, because it looks like a beautiful place to be. Child, when I tell you, I've been looking at it. It's not a long drive, and I think that me and my sisters could probably do that drive and just go have some let your hair down and laugh time and remember our mom and dad and just love on each other for a weekend. So definitely am looking at that place. We could probably do a couple of those houses, and even because I'm sure their families are gonna want to go, and so will mine. So definitely. I have to remember that this court appearance was when Ken had to move out. Exactly, Symmetry. And that's why he came there by himself. Which is why I'm like, why you here by yourself, buddy? Why you couldn't wait on her to ride with you? But it was because of, I'm sure, that she went to court. That's why she was in a funk. She went to court and had gotten a divorce decree, child. Had gotten a divorce, and the judge gave her stipulations that she has to follow when it comes down to her one minor child. Because remember, their son is an adult, but the daughter is still a minor. So the daughter he cannot be in the house with the daughter. Symmetry said, which is why her demeanor was that way. It was, and she was really solemn the whole episode. I'm gonna say, looked like they did 2 days that we saw, but she was pretty much solemn the whole time. I cannot imagine what it's like being with Trisha. She has to be draining. I'm gonna say that the two T's on the show, they may be a little draining, but Trisha, it seems like she gets in a funk, and that would drive me insane. It definitely would. I don't know if I could be with her. This was our segue into Ken and Trisha. Ken asked Trisha, "How did it go?" And Trisha said, "Well, they said we will have our divorce decree in the mail by Friday." Ken tells her it will be all right and try not to think about it. But you notice they skipped over a lot of that conversation about the divorce decree, or maybe she didn't want to talk about it. Trisha, in her confessional, said she had quite a morning before she got there. and she's in a complete funk, is what I put. Trisha said her divorce is finally over with, and she said her feelings are all over the place. Passion said Trisha broke my heart with her expression. Then those poems her parents crushed on top of her bed, gone cold and lonely. Yeah, her poems did. Her poems made me sad. I will say that. Her poems made me sad. Her being in a funk after the divorce, I'm not gonna say it made me sad, but it made me really want to shake her and say, you put yourself in this position. When you put yourself in certain positions, you have to accept what comes along with those positions. And that position is, okay, this guy cannot be in the home with you. Whereas if she had gotten her divorce previously or prior to, no one could have manipulated what happened behind her doors. But she kind of put herself in this position. So I don't really feel sorry for her and the judge telling her that there should be a minor child being in the home with her at all. I think that was a good call. Anyway, Kimmy said tonight is a relaxing day and they will be having dinner. The group meets out by the campfire for dinner and they show them getting food. All the food looked good, child. Maybe I was hungry when I was watching it, but child, that mac and cheese that they showed, it looked like it was cooked to perfection. It looked really, really good. Kimmy said their first activity was that she gave everybody an assignment to write a small poem in regards to themselves, a loved one, or their spouses, and write one for someone in the group. Out of nature, she hoped that they could find a lot of good stuff in each other that maybe they forgot along the way. Martell said he didn't write a poem at all. Martell seemed like he just was there because I'm here because I'm the boss. Really pretty. That was kind of the attitude he was giving off at the beginning of this episode. I'm here because I'm the boss. You can't do nothing without me. Pretty much, pretty much, pretty much. Maurice told him to speak from the heart. Martell then says the first person he wanted to speak about isn't there. And we know that that probably is Miss Arion. He says he sees the love in the air and he appreciates that. He also thanked Kimmy and Maurice for never giving up on the group. And I will say that is the truth because even when the comeback group was falling apart, Kimmy always was trying to find ways and avenues that she could get that group back together. Kim said that he hasn't known the group for a long time, but it has helped him in his growth and his learning. Some of the things he's gotten to know better, he's gotten from members of this group. I thought that was nice of him. I also noticed he wrote nothing down because he had no focus to go off of. He definitely was talking about Arion because Destiny actually mentioned it later on in the show. She said, thank you. I thought of Arion as well. Yes, Passion. He was definitely talking about Arion. Destiny wrote a letter to herself. My dearest Destiny, I love you for every battle you survived, every scar you wear, and every truth you refuse to silence. You are the diamond that pressure could never break, authentic, radiant, and unshakable. No matter the adversity, you keep healing, keep rising and shining. I honor the woman you've become and the woman you are still becoming with love. Me. I thought that was cute because, baby, you cannot write a better letter of affirmation to yourself than that. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Next, Marsol wrote a poem to Letitia. Letitia, over the last 20 years, I've learned to love, and that love has no end. Thank you for challenging me each day to give more. But you don't like her challenges, boy. You don't like her challenges. Let's be honest. You don't like her questions, which are challenges. And that drives you crazy. But you go on with your fictional story, and we're going to read it out loud. Even when I thought it was impossible, thank you for being the fuel inside that continues to drive me, that continues to push me, that beacon of light, something that compels me, something that makes me want to go farther. Thank you for being my fuel. Thank you for being my reason. That was cute, Marcel. I loved it. I love the poem. It was cute. Neil, I guess she didn't write nothing down either, but this is what she said. Neil says, for you all, I want to say thank you to Kimmy and Maurice for having us here. Neil says she knows they haven't been in a good space with neither of you, and this was very heartfelt for her. Neil says she loves peace, and that means everything to her. Yeah, you don't be acting like you know peace, but girl, we're gonna believe you, girl. We're gonna go along with your story. We're gonna go along with your story, but I call bullshit on that one. Y'all know my word. She's giving him the side eye. Definitely, definitely. Y'all know my word. That sounds like bullshit to me. That's what Neil's stories sound like bullshit to me, just like Marcel's stories sound like some bullshit, spanky to me. Anyway, next we go to Maurice. Maurice goes next with his Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, baby. Kimberly, my love, 7 years and we start anew from something borrowed to something blue. Girl, y'all know I got the last 7 years have been an adventure of love and happiness, trial and error. But through it all, we found our center. And when we look through the mirror to read the scripture, it reads, Kimmy and Maurice forever and ever. Child, sit down. Get you a chair and have you a seat, Maurice. Because there was some bull swanky panky, some bull lang lang in the words of butterfly. Letitia's written her letter to Marsall, of course. Dear Marsall, when I think of love, I think of the many sacrifices you've made for me and the kids, the hard work you put in, the long nights. Even when I complain, I know that it is love. These past 7 years have had me doubting your love at times, but you never gave up on me. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for loving me. I love you forever and ever. Tisha. That was cute. That was cute. Maurice's letter was to me disingenuous, or he meant it, and the benefit will be given to another woman because it's not matching current vibe for him and Tisha. Child, I told you, this is what I call on that. This is what I call on that. Girl, the past 7 years was hell for her. It's shoot, from good day, pack them kids up in the car and drive down there down to the club and see what he doing to the 20 women, to your husband gone to Africa, child. I could go on and on and on. Tisha done been through some SHIT with this ninja. Cheers. Child, I ain't telling you to leave your husband, no girl. Stay if you enjoy it. As my mom used to say, if you like it, I love it. But Tisha, this boy don't put you through some bull swanky panky. He has. Child, no. And he can't take you no further than Florida, Jamaica. No, girl, where I would shake his head, rally his head, and roll his head. You in Africa, hold on. Let me get my suitcase and my shoes, because I'm going to Africa. Italy? Oh, you and the son going? Hold on, let me pack Macy and Mila's clothes and my clothes. Cause you know what? Don't worry about no clothes. We'll buy clothes when we get over there, because we're going to. What kind of stuff is that? Child, ain't no way. Ain't no way. This girl told me, she said her husband used to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. We have a 24-hour bowling alley around here. And she said he would tell her he was going bowling. I said, what would you do? She said, I would be like, oh, are you going bowling? I would be crying and stuff. I said, girl, before he could have his shoes on, I would have my shoes on and be sitting on the passenger side of that darn car. Do you hear me? I'll be sitting. What time we leaving? Where are we going? Because ain't no way you going to cheat on me in my face. Not in my face, and I know it. Ain't no way. You got to go about your business. I'm gonna let you cheat in peace, and I'm going over here and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do in peace. But baby, I'm not fit to sit here while I'm trying to be all sweet and kind and be the wife while you out here cheating. That's not how this gonna roll, buddy. Put your shoes on when he put his shoes on. Tisha, listen to me. Next time that ninja got a suitcase pack and a backpack, you keep one pack in the back of the suitcase, in the back of the closet. I'm gonna tell you that already. Put your shoes on. When he put his shoes on, grab your passport and your purse. And girl, follow him right on out that door. He going to the airport, you going to the airport too. Park your car at the gate. And you can pay for it when you get back. You ain't got to wait on that. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Brown Girls Rock. Good morning. Yes, Shayna. Yeah, you pack your bag. Don't let them leave you. No. You going? We going. Where we going to? Child, ain't no way. Ain't no way. If you go, it's because I don't want to go. That's the only reason why you going without me, because I don't. If it was someplace I want to go, trust me, I'm going. I'm gonna be there. I'll be there. In the words of Michael Jackson, I'll be there. Trust me. Trust me. Ask mine. If it's somewhere I want to go, I'll be there. If I don't want to go, you going by yourself. But you're not gonna be playing me. Ain't gonna be you going to where with that? Africa. Hold on. You hold on 1 second. Let me hit this safe and get this passport out and call the nanny to watch these children because I am on my way to Africa. Even if I came the next day, I'm coming where you are. Because I'm gonna watch you cheat with my good eye. And I'm enjoying my trip. When I get back home, I'm gonna go down there to the people and file them little papers. Child, ain't no way. You cheating on somebody and you just letting them cheat. Nah, whatever. Let me move on. Because I done got upset. Kimmy said she wrote hers to Trisha. And I thought that was cute. Trisha smiled. This was the first time we see Trisha actually smile on this episode. We don't know much about each other's chapters yet, but I see the way you light up the room. There's a rhythm in your presence and a smile on your face, like walking into a new environment that you just discovered. Hey, new friend. I don't need the whole story to know that the energy you share is good. Sometimes the universe just places the right people at the right place in the right time. And I'm glad that it placed you here. And I thought that was cute. I think that was heartfelt. And I thought it was a cute point from Kimmy to Trisha. And I think it was needed. I think Trisha needed that affirmation and that encouragement at the moment. She seemed very, very down. Chris wrote a poem to Martell. Child. Why you let me mind my business. Chris wrote he wrote his letter to Martell, not to Nell, not to the Cheerings, not to the dog or the cat. He wrote it to his homeboy, Martell. Child, let me move on. Hey, Martell, bro. I just wanted to share something with you. I know you're not a big fan or maybe as close of friends as perhaps you all used to be. And trust me, bro, I totally get where you're coming from. I just it's important to remember that everyone's different. I don't know what I missed there. Even you. And sometimes people have their reason for acting or moving the way they do. I value our friendship and hope that we all can keep supporting each other, even if we don't see eye to eye on everything. Bottom line, we all have families, kids, etc. We are the heads of our household, and they are looking up to us first. Child. Okay. All right, Fletcher. All right, Fletcher. You wrote that, honey. Martell in his confessional says that he thanks Chris deeply for acknowledging the friendship that they have. Martell said that Chris is a lot wiser than he is, and I said that's for sure. He has been on the earth longer than Martell. I said that's shady. That's some shady shit right there, Martell. But I think Martell is full of shade and shit. But chat, moving on. Martell says that Chris has been through a lot. And those are the kind of people that he looks up to. He appreciates Chris when he does give him advice and he will listen. He admits that sometimes he does not follow through and that it is just, I'm sorry, that he doesn't follow through with it. But just know I heard you, is what he said. Child. Anyway, Martell. You said Tisha got to go on piggyback trip to Detroit. He ain't trying to take her international. Probably no passport. She better than me. He be in Rome. I'm gonna be still in Jamaica getting my groove back. Girl, you know me? He in Rome. I'm in Rome. You go to Rome on Tuesday. I'll be in Rome on Wednesday. I'm sorry. That's the way I flow. I'm going to get all the proof I need that you're a cheater, pumpkin eater, and I'm going to bring it all back home, and I'm going to lay it all out for the courts. Courts. This is why he's a cheater, pumpkin eater. He been cheating. I got all the proof. Here it is. I'm going to lay it out. I want everything. It's a blues song out there, y'all. And the title of the blues song is called "The Bitch Get It Out." Y'all can look it up, listen to it. I love music, so I listen to a lot of genres. But this blues song say that this man went to court, told the judge how the husband had been cheating. The judge looked at the husband and said, you know what? The bitch get it out. That's it. She get it out. She get it out. The whole song just said she get it out. That is the hook of the song. Give it all to her. They've been out the country as well. Girl, we symmetry. I understand what you're saying. That's cute now. I'm talking about when he go out the country solo dolo. I ain't talking about when they go as a family, because that don't even matter. I don't need to go with my family out of this country, and my husband going out the country by himself. My husband going out the country by himself. I need to accompany my husband to be with him. That's it. That's it. That's all. Because I have suspicion. You do construction in America. Why are you going out the country? You mean when somebody out the country do construction over there? You in Africa? Now I know you took your son to Italy, but you should have took your whole family. And I believe Tisha was not happy about the fact that you over there in Italy with your son and not your wife. Chad, that said a whole lot about you and not about her. Now, if you don't want to be married, you need to get a divorce. But you leaving that woman in America and she want to be with you in Italy, that ain't right. That ain't right. Excuse me. I just have such a crush on Chris Fletcher. Pray for me, y'all. Shayna. He's a good looking man. I would give you that. He's always well groomed, always looks good, always wears the best of clothes. But yeah. But you see, you have a good husband and marriage. Child, passion. He be acting up over here. I have to shake him a little bit. You know, all men have to be shaken. Symmetry said, I'm not disputing that. Yeah, Symmetry. I'm just saying. I just feel a way about it. I just do. I'm telling you. When that girl told me her husband was going bowling at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I asked, what you doing? She's like, I was sitting over there crying, like, don't leave me, don't go. You was doing what? Girl, the way I would have put my shoes on and been sitting in the passenger side of that car. What? You not coming no more? What happened? I thought we was going bowling. Cause I'm crazy like that. That's me. Let's go bowling. Cause ain't no husband need to be getting up out his bed to go bowling. Let this one get up at 2 in the morning. And see when I'll be on the tail end of his pickup truck. Be on the tail end of that bad boy. I'm right behind you, buddy. I bet I can run up on you. I'm just playing. You're on fire this morning. Ain't taking over Christmas special. I'm for real. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get how women just blatantly let men do what they do. Because I'm going to tell you something. As a woman, I'm telling you from experience, I've been married a long time, over 20 years. When you've been in a relationship for a long period of time, there comes a point where you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Some stuff you ignore. The stuff you just learn to live with, right? But there's some stuff I ain't gonna ignore. Disrespect, I ain't gonna ignore no disrespect. I'm not taking no disrespect. Period, poo. As the kids say. Period, poo. If you give out disrespect, you gonna get disrespect. Mine said the other day we had a disagreement. He said, your mouth. I said, your mouth. I'm laughing at him saying, your mouth. You ain't gonna never talk crazy to me and think I ain't gonna talk crazy back. We're gonna do it both ways. You say something crazy, I'm gonna say something crazy too. And you make me mad enough, I might say your mama. That's just I'm telling you, you piss me off bad enough, it might get there. That's why I try not to go there. I beg people to leave me alone. I do. I'll be like, leave me alone. And Pastor preached about that on yesterday, on Pentecost Sunday, about how sometimes we try to stay in our lanes and people be pushing us there. But if you meet that old man, see, I done killed that old man when I got saved. I put that old man away, but she's still in there. She rides her ugly head up sometime too, baby. And I have to get with it, but I try to keep her under subjection. But sometimes she come up out of there. She be acting up. I'm like, oh, go back. I'm not literally saying I will call somebody's mom, but I'm saying I can get upset to the point where it gets ugly. So I can imagine what Tisha goes through. And she seems like with Marsau, she tries to be respectful on the TV. Baby, I can imagine what he get behind. The way she get with other women, I bet you she gets with him behind this. But when the cameras is off, I bet you he gets it. I bet you he gets it. Listen, imagine running through airport. Marsau, wait, help me with my luggage. Girl, I ain't gonna say nothing. Don't help me with no luggage because all my bags roll, baby. Every single one of them. In fact, I have reinforced wheels on my luggage, on my Samsonite. We coming through this. I mean, not Samsonite. My what do I have in there? Oh, I do have Samsonite luggage. Baby, I'm rolling through the airport with these reinforced wheels, these heavy duty wheels, and we rolling in a fast speed. We gonna catch you. Baby, we may not be on the same plane. We may be on opposite planes, but when you land, I'm gonna land. I'm gonna be where you gonna be. Because I'm going to see you firsthand. And then I'm going to get on the plane and come on back home and go on down there and then wipe you clean. You got a lot more to lose than you got to win, baby. I don't know why he down there tripping on her. Anyway, Latricia has written a poem called Heaven Could Have Waited. She addressed her parents and her feelings towards their past. And this was emotional to me. I felt like I was peeking in a therapy room where I probably shouldn't have been. I don't know how y'all felt, but I felt like, oh, I should be listening or should be looking. But I believe her poem was heartfelt. Um, Listen to her poem, I can tell you she's still grieving and she's still angry because there are so many stages of grief, and one of the stages is anger. And I believe that Tisha is still angry with her parents for dying, and that's okay. That's okay. She'll eventually have move forward, but I believe she's still in that. Um, I believe she's still there. First poem is for Pops. Although your time here was short, we still miss you every day, preaching to us. Thanks for preaching to us the facts of life about being a person of your word, preaching to do as I say and not as I do. Baby, then she jumped into Pops behind. Pops, why didn't you listen to your own preachers? Why didn't you listen when you were preaching to us about drinking and smoking, which ultimately took you from us? Because honestly, if you would have, heaven could have waited. Mom, you being taken away from us was unexpected. Maybe you already knew Pops was gone and wanted to join him. But man, we sure miss your loud fussing. Thanks for fussing at us. Telling us about the facts of life, standing on your own 2 feet, always hustling and getting it by any means necessary. But mom, why didn't you listen to us while we were fussing at you about not eating the things that you knew you couldn't have and by doing the things that you knew you couldn't do? But honestly, I believe that heaven could have waited. But although I could use a fact of life lesson today at this very moment, I'm going to take all the teaching and move forward because I don't want my loved ones writing a poem like this too soon. I do believe that heaven can wait for me. And Kimmy thank Trisha for sharing that with the group. Like I said, I felt like, oh, I should be listening to this, but it was very honest, very sincere, and I believe it came from the heart. You said, yes, I did appreciate Trisha in that moment, in this moment. Yeah, I thought it was cute. I think it was cute. Kimmy proposed a toast to Trisha. I think she thought that it would lighten the mood, but it did not lighten the mood. Trisha did not look happy. She looked even more upset after the toast, but she did put on a brave face. She proposed a toast to Trisha for the divorce, and Martell looked at Destiny and said, "Destiny, what are we toasting to?" And Destiny said, "Let's toast to clarity, relationships, understanding, communication, friendships, and respect." And that ends the night. Child, the next morning we start at Maurice and Kimmy's cabin. Maurice asked Kimmy how she thought the prior night went, and she said she thought it went great. And Maurice said Trisha seemed a little sad. And Kimmy agreed that Trisha did seem sad with everything that she has been through. Kimmy said, "I understand her being down." She said she felt a way about Martell not wanting to do the poem things and the different things. So I guess there was more stuff that they had in line besides the poem, and I guess Martell didn't want to do none of it. Anywho, I said in quotations, "Child, y'all should love Martell in Huntsville. Yeah, I brought him down there to Gunnersville, so enjoy Martell." Maurice says he thinks Martell also has a rough time with public speaking. Yeah, he's among friends. So what? Anyway, Martell speaks just fine when he's mad, is what Keaton said. Next, we see Will arriving at Destiny's cabin. So we see Will. We see a golf cart moving, and then we see Will hopping out of it. Girl, Will has on some shorts and some Timberlands. I don't know what we're talking. Maybe he's going hiking. I'm sorry, my mind in the wrong place. But yeah, Destiny said it was nice to see another single person besides Martell. She said Martell isn't really single. He just didn't bring his partner. So we do know that Martell at this point is still with Ariane, and he just didn't bring her on the trip. Will said this is a nice place. Will wanted to see what Destiny's bed felt like, and Destiny's like, "Why do you need?" Destiny said, "Why do you need to see what my bed feels like?" And Destiny said the only person that will be in my bed will be me. Will said that she said very plainly and very clear in her confessional that Will and Destiny are just friends. Will then asked her about the hot tub. Is that a hot tub outside? And she said, yeah. He said, have you ever gotten in a hot tub with a friend, child? And I say it was funny, funny, funny. They have a funny demeanor. You can tell it's a little rooted in some flirtation, but I think it was cute. I think it was cute. Back at Kimmy and Maurice, Kimmy said last night went well, and today will go well too. They have the caverns, a boat ride, and then dinner. It will be a full day, is what Kimmy says. Um, Kimmy said, I've wrote out a whole itinerary, minute by minute. So the first stop they go to is the caverns. If you've ever been to caves or to caverns, they are absolutely beautiful. I went to the Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico, and it was an adventure that I wanted to take my grandchildren this weekend, but everybody has something else to do. So we are going to choose a weekend. I'm going to drive them to New Mexico, and we're going to go to Carlsbad to the caverns, and just visit. I want them to see the caves. I think they're absolutely amazing. How a cave can be made out of water, and just God's handiwork. Um, at Carlsbad, when you come in, there's the ceiling is full of bats, so you see a lot of bats when you come in. I noticed with their caves, I didn't see any bats there, but that the caves look really beautiful. They were called the Cathedral Caverns. So I told you I've been looking at Gunnersville. We're gonna take a trip. That may be the trip I take with my grandchildren, besides Carlsbad. But I really want to take them to Carlsbad because from there I want to go into Arizona and spend some time with some family up there, um, so they can see their family there. And my grandson, who swears he's afraid of an airplane, will have an opportunity to go around this country and say, "Granny took me." um, I've already taken the oldest one to Arizona before, but I've never taken the oldest grandson. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. But anyway, so we see them at the caverns. We see the first stop is the caverns. We see them all load up in a van. What's my sister saying? Okay. Um, we see them all load up in a van, and they're getting ready to head out to the Cathedral Caverns. Their tour guide, his name is Mason, and he meets them at the entrance. And the guy tells them a story about a man who bought the cave and didn't tell his wife. Marcel said that's the only way it was going to get bought. And then in his confessional, he said, if you're going to buy a cave, that is not something you run by your wife. It's just too many questions. When women are saying they want a man to be spontaneous, they're talking about a man who wants to buy a cave. Child, when I tell you, this was crazy. The group is going to go on a pontoon boat. The guys are going to go on one, and the ladies are going to go on the other one. Child, this pontoon boat. Now, we're about to get into the mess. Next, we see the group get on their boats. Kimmy said the fundamentals is shaking up the group. So she got his and her boats. We see the boats going out into the water. We see Tisha and Destiny sharing, and Kimmy said she's happy to see that. Kimmy said this isn't abnormal. And Destiny says, but it has been as of late. Destiny says that consists of uh Destiny says that consists of challenging of her character, and friendship is gone too far. And Tisha said that she and Destiny had a great relationship, and she does love Destiny, but to be in a space where they aren't laughing and joking is hurtful to her. Um, I'm sorry, my sister wants to have a conversation. Tisha said that she and Destiny had a great relationship, and she does love Destiny, but she wants to be in a space where I'm sorry, but to be in a space where they aren't laughing and joking is hurtful. Tisha, I said, come here, love, let's talk. You call some of this. This did just happen overnight. Hey, that's me, AD. How are you? Um, This didn't just happen overnight, Tisha. Some of this is of your fault, and some of it is Destiny's fault. But this didn't just happen overnight. This is something that kind of, y'all worked up to. Tisha says she thinks it's time for her and Destiny to move forward with the drama. Destiny one is going to have to take accountability. Number two, she's going to have to speak to Tisha directly about how she feels about her. That is the only way they can move past this situation. First of all, Tisha, when you're trying to make up with someone, you don't give them rules. You have open and honest conversation. I believe you went about this the wrong way, but child, I'm not here to judge. Who is I to judge? Um, who is I to judge, baby? That's just it. Just who is I to judge? I think it was wild for her to say that. You got one to do this and two to do that. Child, one and two words. Take responsibility. And while I take accountability, what are you going to take accountability for? What are you going to have to speak directly to me about? Right? I think it goes both ways. And I think Tisha going into the confessional and say that may put a little damper on their relationship. And so over at the boat with the men, we see Maurice ask Fletcher what branch of the military he was in. He responded with the Army. Then he asked Ken, and Ken responds with the Army as well. Then Marceau just chimes in. No one asked him to chime in, but yeah, when I say these Scott brothers, I guess I've never really paid attention until this episode, but these Scott brothers really monopolize the conversations. They really just take over and they own the conversations. Marceau chimes in talking about Trisha, which I thought was not his place, but he does. Marceau, didn't you just have a conversation with Tisha about doing something similar to what you're doing right now to Ken? I don't know if you be listening to yourself or you just be talking to have conversations, but Marceau, you need to reel it in. You need to reel it in, especially since you're having some doubts and issues and questions in your own mind regarding your own relationship. You should not be addressing anyone else's relationship. You said yourself, your relationship has always been a target, but now you're wanting to target someone else's. You and Tisha, y'all going in the same box, going in that box over there. I ain't gonna put no names on it. Just go into the box. Because you're doing exactly what you accused your wife of doing. Exactly. There's no difference in what you're doing. None whatsoever. You just talked to Tisha about while you were playing at Top Golf about her going to Trisha and talking to Trisha about Ken. And now here you are on a boat doing the exact same thing. Yeah, that's me, AD. Hey, girlfriends. Yeah, doing the exact same thing, which I thought was just wild. Anyway, Marceau asked Ken, would he be able to console Trisha as she grieves her marriage? Dude, what are you talking about? Shut up. Shut up. Ken said, I see where you're going, but Trisha wasn't out of it because of that past relationship. And I really believe Ken and Trisha are trying not to tell Trisha's business. Apparently, she don't want it out there. Maybe the judge told them they couldn't talk about it on camera. I don't know. But I believe Marceau doing this was not a good look. It was not something good. It wasn't something he should have done. Period. Ken said he told Trisha that there was going to be more to this even after she got the divorce. It's not over. And it's crazy that these Scott men can't read the room. That is ignorant to me. That y'all cannot see that this man is trying to avoid this conversation. He is not trying to have this conversation on camera. And I believe they must have told production because we don't see. I mean, when I say Ken was pretty much on mute, he was pretty much on mute. Exactly. When you truly want to resolve and refresh friendships, you initiate accountability to responsibility and be willing to receive the same. Exactly. You don't put stipulations in place that you tend to throw off on another person, but not take that same accountability. It goes both ways. And I really feel like that was where she went in maybe with the wrong intentions or understanding of what the resolve should look like or be. You said Ken's facial expression said, girlfriend said it all. Like, dude, what? Because they're thinking that Tisha's upset because of the divorce. Tisha upset because what's in that divorce decree, not the divorce, what that judge says she's got to do. And that's fair. That's fair game. You said, didn't Marceau tell Tisha, don't insert into others? I just said that, Passion. Just said it. Yes, he told her. You told your wife to do it, and now you dare her doing it. Not to do it, now you dare her do it. I said, it's crazy, again, that the Scott men cannot read the room. Something happened in court, and Trisha is upset about it, and it ain't the dissolvement of her past marriage. And I said that. I said that that is my comment to this whole conversation, is that y'all are reading something into the room that's not there. Y'all are not. Y'all don't know the ins and outs. Is y'all always, oh, Trisha sneaky, she's a liar, she's dead. I believe something happened in that courtroom and she just can't talk about it. She can't talk about it, ain't gonna talk about it, and y'all shouldn't pressure anybody to. Maurice said when he filed for divorce, he didn't think it would be sad and uncomfortable. It felt uncomfortable, but it felt uncomfortable toasting last night. And Martell said he's still sad. He still cried. I said, Ninja, boo-hoo. You did it to yourself, Martell. You did it. Boy, cry me a river. Go ahead and cry, baby. Cry me a river. You did all that to yourself. You was married. You decided you want to have a lifelong side piece. You did, and you still with her. So you ain't crying too hard about your past relationships. And do your wife know? I mean, do your partner know that you still crying about your divorce? Child, move on. Get away from us. Maury said he felt uncomfortable toasting last night to that moment. Marceau said, ask Ken, does Trisha have a safe space to grieve her marriage with him? Well, you still pushing that envelope, buddy. You still pushing it. He done already told you. Now, up here, Ken said he told Trisha there was going to be more to this even after she got the divorce. It's not over. I guess no one is reading what he's saying. They're just, the Scott men are just throwing out stuff. Hey, catch this. Oh, there it go over there. I'm gonna throw this over here. Catch it. You gonna make this man listen to this bull swanky. I was like the voice of persuasion. Anyway, that's me said I roll my eyes when Martell said that. Me too. Like, you talking about you still cry. I'm still sad and I still cry. Whatever. That was a fair question, even though it was not his place. It wasn't fair. It wasn't a fair question because it's not it's not his place, and it's not a fair question because you don't know why she's sad. So it is unfair. And I'm sorry, Gail, I don't mean to be abrupt, but I kind of get a little passionate. It's not fair because he has no idea why she's upset and why she's not speaking, why she's not talking, or why she's sad. It has nothing to do with mourning a marriage. Her and her ex-husband have been separated for years, according to them, right? So if you've been separated from years, you've had an opportunity to mourn the divorce. The issue was there was things that the judge put in place that she couldn't talk about on television because the judge had just signed the order. One was that Ken had to move out of the house, and I forgot what the other ones were. But child, none of it was Marceau's business or his brother's business, regardless of what was said. Regardless of what was said. What I meant is Trisha's going to need time to process. She's already processed that divorce. Girl, she going to need time to process the fact that the judge said Ken got to get out. That's what she needs time to process. Because now you messing with my money. Ken been living here, helping me pay these bills. Ken got to get an apartment that takes money out of the house. If you catch what I'm putting down, I hope you catch what I'm putting down. Ken's gonna have to be understanding. Child, Ken understands. They the one don't understand. Ken is sitting up there, has no problem. They the ones that are having the problem with this conversation, right or wrong. Tell me if I'm seeing something that y'all see differently. Because Ken don't seem like he having not one issue. Marceau and Maurice are having the issues, not Ken. Not Ken. Not at all. You said, I get it. You said, that's me, AD. Hey, darling. Don't mind me, Lady Rowe. I already authorized my back and forth conversation. I'm enjoying every minute of this because it ain't all up in all spirits like that. It's not. It's crazy. It's crazy. So asked Ken, does Trisha have a safe space to grieve over her marriage with him? Not your place, not your business, and she ain't grieving that marriage. Ken done tried to tell you that, but you can't read. You can't read the room. Ken said that is not a challenge to him. That's not a challenge to me. What are you trying to say, dude? Anyway, Maurice then says that he heard from Kimmy that Trisha was talking about spinning the block and she and Ken getting back together. I said, now you're talking too much. Marcel, now you're talking too much. I mean, Maurice, I'm sorry. Maurice, now you talking too much. That was something you and your wife discussed. Now you done brought it out here and told this man, are you trying to break them up? Is that what you're trying to do? You trying to split up this relationship, even though it probably should be? It looks a little toxic, but that ain't your place. But you go ahead and run your mouth. Because what you do, normally what you throw out in the atmosphere has a way to come back to you. Maurice said, how are y'all getting past that? And Chris asked Ken, do y'all have a conversation about that? Did she tell you that? I said, why? Nosy ninjas? Why? Ken said that Trisha never said she spun the block. And Will chimed in and said, yeah, she did. She said she had entertained other people, and so did he. Ken said he don't care about this spinning the block thing. If he did something, he can't get mad at her for doing the same thing. All the male chauvinists on the boat spoke up and said, oh no, you can't do that. Maurice said, as soon as someone used his toothbrush, he's done. Martell said his woman ain't gonna do the same SHIT he gonna do and act as if it's okay because she's going to spin the block again. Martell said that Ken has gone through so many red flags and they aren't even married yet. Ken says the guys want him to be like them, and he just ain't that. He ain't that dude. He said, I'm not like y'all. I ain't gonna be like y'all. Child, I thought that was the craziest episode. Them men over there talking to me, that was ignorant. Anyway, seems like the men did not have nothing to talk about. Right. They should have been trying to resolve why Martell felt so emboldened to talk about Tisha Scott. That's what they should have been trying to resolve. I saw they hit on the Chris issue. That was cute. But you should have been talking to Martell and why he felt like it was okay to go after Letitia. That's what y'all should have been talking about. But instead, y'all over here picking at Ken. But go right ahead. Back in the boat with the ladies, Tisha says that she never asked Destiny to pick a side when she and Martell were not cool. But with Nell, she did because she felt like Destiny was coming to her and saying, you need to take what Nell is giving you. Destiny said, no, you perceived it as that. That is not what I was saying. What I was saying was, what I was saying, but what I was saying is that I know Nell better than you do, and I was trying to get you to a space where you could see that. Then Kimmy chimes in, and we all know that when Kimmy chimes in, things seem to change and get a little messy. So Kimmy chimes in and says that, do you feel as a friend that you may not understand, but you tried meet in the middle? Destiny said, I tried. Tisha said, Destiny, how did you try? Destiny said, how many times have I apologized, even for things that I did not do? Tisha then responds with, so you haven't done anything wrong, is what you're saying, Destiny? And Destiny said, you tell me what I did wrong. And Tisha said, do you feel like you did anything wrong? And Destiny responds, no. Not until I was pushed into a corner. Tisha said, so I pushed you into a corner because I said, don't trust that hoe in the corner? Destiny said, that is very disrespectful, Tisha. Tisha said, okay. Then responds with, you're rolling your eyes and I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you. Girl, Tisha, come here, let me hold your hand, baby. Because you seem very fragile. Let me hold your hand while I tell you this. Destiny grown. Destiny been raised. She had someone raised her, a mother, a father, a stepmama. Somebody raised her. She's an adult. You really shouldn't question adults about them rolling their eyes. You talk to your children about them rolling their eyes. When adults roll their eyes at you, you accept it. And you say, bitch, I don't care about you rolling your eyes. You say that kind of stuff. But you don't just be like, you see, you're rolling your eyes. You seem very condescending at that moment. But I'm just holding your hand, just trying to, walk you through this because I know this is a difficult conversation. I know it's okay, Tisha. I'm gonna keep your hand right here because we're gonna have some more rubbing hands. And Destiny, I want you to come over here too, because I'm gonna rub your hand too. All right. Destiny said, I'm listening to you. Destiny makes it clear that she's listening to Letitia, and now she's looking at her. Hey, Queen Script. Passion said, plus, after seeing Ken and Will talk, where Ken compared the travel nurse to Trisha is not in not so nice way. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And I believe that may be why Ken is choosing not to engage with these men because they don't know the half of what has happened probably. Tisha, Destiny is an adult, is what I put in my notes. Destiny says in her confessional that Tisha says she wants to clear the air, but she's trying to dump everything into Destiny's lap, and Destiny isn't okay with that. Tisha asked Destiny if she has not taken any low blows at her, and Destiny said, when? Tisha said, when you said that I have friendship Tourette's. Destiny said, Tisha, that is not a low blow. It was a joke and not a low blow. Desi said it is a joke and nobody disagreed because you do that. Now Tisha's trying to justify her Tourette's over there with the rest of the group. She started talking about, well, I do this and I be saying this and she was trying to tell him why she do the things she do. Tisha said, if I am mad at you, then I'm going to kill you. Shall we go back to the guys' boat? Whew. They talk about Fletcher and Marceau having an issue. Marceau said his issue was that Fletch didn't have a license and he thought they were going to get into business together. Fletcher said, what gave you that idea that we're going to do business together? Fletch again tells us about this transaction that his license got revoked. And Marceau says, I was thinking, and Fletch said, that is your problem right there. Marceau said, you don't have to be insulting about it, Fletch. Fletch tells Marceau since the conversation that they had with since that conversation that they had, Marceau has Marceau has started several projects and hasn't contacted him about any of them. Then Maurice chimes in and says Kimmy had an issue with Marceau because they own a title company, and Marceau told they own a title and a brokerage company, and Marceau told Kimmy that he was listing his home with Chris Fletcher. Maurice said that they all work hard for what they have, and he was thinking about what they could do to help Maurice, what they could help Fletcher with. And Maurice said that Fletcher's never poured on him, and Chris said he has never had an issue with Maurice. And Marceau and Chris hung it out. Chad, when I say they didn't resolve nothing, that wasn't nothing. When I say that was nothing to me. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. A whole bunch of men just shooting it. They should just smoke their cigars and listen to some music and talk about the trees and the fish. They should have just had some fishing poles and some hooks and threw them out there in the water and tried to catch. Because child, they won't talk about that. Anyway, back at the ladies, Tisha said what she's going to do is apologize for putting Destiny in a don't trust that whole box. And she said it just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apologize to Destiny for putting her in a don't trust that whole box. She said, I shouldn't have put you in that category, period. Tisha said she don't know how they move on from that. Destiny says she always apologizes to Tisha. Tisha said, you don't think the Tourette situation, you should apologize for that? And Destiny starts laughing. But remember, they out there on the boat. They had some cocktails and the sun is shining bright. So I don't know if that's what the laugh was coming from, but Destiny, you shouldn't have been laughing now. You should have been laughing. You should have been. This was a serious moment. And you was laughing. Destiny laughed and said, no, that was funny. Then Tisha said, what about what you said about my husband? Do you think that was a low blow? Destiny said, that was a real moment. That was a real moment. Destiny said, you called me out of my name while I am rebuilding my life. Tisha said, are we taking accountability or are we making excuses? What? What, Tisha? Tisha, Where are you going with this, girl? What are we doing? Desi said, no, we are going to talk about facts. You literally discredited Destiny as a woman and tried to call her a hoe. Tisha said, I didn't say none of the stuff I could have said about you as a woman. Baby Destiny set that drink down, moved closer to the edge of the seat, and said, please do. Tisha said, no, I don't want to do that. Destiny said, baby, I done said nothing. And Tisha said, and I haven't either, baby. Destiny, well, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it out. Let's get it all out here and leave it on the water. Bring it. Tisha said she can't acknowledge her hurting me. I said, child, this is draining. This is draining. Desi says, I did. Desi says, how long did you want me to apologize to you, Tisha? Tisha said, you just said that there was a joke. And Desi said, I have apologized for multiple things that have offended you and hurt you. I'm apologized out. Now, I I agree with Destiny to an extent. Let me put it there. To an extent. Because I feel like Destiny at that moment probably should have apologized again. Just for the very reason of squashing the beef, right? Passion said, check him, Chris. I was thinking that's your problem right there. I missed that part, but it sound good. Yeah, he said that. He said, that's your problem. He said, I was thinking that. And Chris said, that's your problem right there, thinking. That is your biggest problem that you be thinking. Back to Tisha and Destiny. I really feel like Destiny should have apologized. Just for the very fact that Tisha had apologized, right? So I think to clear the air would be you apologize, I apologize, let's start afresh. But I think Destiny's tired. I think she's tired of playing this game, tired of apologizing because I believe when they were at the open house, that Destiny tried to explain to Tisha why she said it and she apologized there. Um, I don't think she apologized when she said anything about the husband because I believe she really felt that I have protected you when your husband has not. And I really feel like that was a real moment. And I don't think that really is owed an apology. You feel how you feel, but I was being honest. That was my truth. Um, next, so we don't resolve anything on the boat, right? This is the end of it. Destiny said, I've apologized for multiple things that have offended you and hurt you, and I'm apologized out. Boop. End of that scene, and on to the next. Next, we see the group going to dinner at Big Mike's at the City Harbor. Kimmy asked the men what did they do on their boat, and they said they mended some relationships. They ain't mended a damn thing, but okay. Marcel starts a speech that was absolutely garbage. He said that what was going on between Tisha and Destiny, it don't matter. We got past it. And Destiny looked at him like, stop lying. Child, this is a mess. Destiny said, well, we have to get past it though. Marceau said he and Martell had it worse than anyone when it came to going after each other. At the end of the day, they established some rules. Kimmy said, so no one has gone contrary to that since the talk? Marceau said, nope. And Tisha said, when was the talk? Kimmy said, nobody has posted anything negative on or anything, no stuff like that since the talk. Ken said he always wanted to see Marceau and Martell make up because he thought that their relationship was great. It was a good, positive relationship together. Kimmy chimes in again and says, until you mess up. Kimmy said the guys are patting themselves on the back, but really sweeping it under the rug. Child, this is what it is right here. Sounds like some bullshit to me. This is it. This when I say this is messy, it's shady, and it sounds like some bull swanky to me. Anywho, um, Kimmy says the guys, of course, are patting themselves on the back. And Marie said, I don't think we're going to make mistakes moving forward. And Kimmy sings out. No, because Martell already made one. Now I don't know if something happened and we didn't get a chance to see it past what happened last season. But child, anyway, let's move on. Maurice says, babe, babe, babe. And Martell, of course, reacts. Girl, were you trying to get Martell, riled up? Because maybe he jumps right in. Martell said, I thought we were about to leave. Maurice said, they have come a long way today. Desi said, what did he do? Kimmy and Maurice said, no, we're going to leave it. Wait a minute. Desi said, what did he do? Kimmy said, Maurice said, no, we're going to leave it. Maurice still trying to stop Kimmy from running her mouth, but baby, Kimmy is not having it. I don't know if Kimmy been drinking. I know she was eating, but Kimmy like, Kimmy said Martell was laughing when Maurice was telling him about his DUI. Destiny started laughing, baby. At that moment, she cracked up. She started laughing, uncontrollably laughing. Martell yells and says, everybody was laughing. And they're still laughing. Maurice said, no, everybody wasn't laughing. And Kimmy said, no, I am talking about you, Martell. Martell says, let's talk about it. Maurice said, I got into an accident. Martell said, how? What'd you do? Maurice said, I hit a tree, I hit a pole, and I hit an animal. And the entire table burst out laughing. Everybody except Maurice and Kimmy. Tisha was laughing. Marceau was laughing. Kenny was laughing. Will had to turn his head. He was laughing so hard. Nell had her head down. Chris was turned the other way laughing. Baby, Destiny was killed over laughing. And when I say laughing, everybody was laughing. Maurice said, so it's funny. So it's funny. Martell said, look at your brother. Tisha laughing. Then he said, Kimmy is laughing. Kimmy said, don't even try that. Maurice said, listen. This is what we will do now. You will get a different Maurice because I will laugh at you. They started laughing even harder. Maybe they thought it was fun. They thought that was even funnier. Tisha said, no, Maurice, you make excuses for Martell. Maurice gets deep in his feelings and says he had a concussion, and was in the hospital. And it is funny now, huh? Martell said, I didn't know the ninja was in the hospital. And Maurice said, I'm telling you, but you're laughing. Martell said, if you had told, hey, Martell, I went to the hospital, I was hurt, I wouldn't have. And I would have said, I'm sorry that you went through that. Maurice said, I told you I went to the hospital. And Martell said, I wouldn't have laughed at you going to the hospital. You shouldn't have told me the story. It was funny. Martell said, Maurice he done stood up and he's saying something crazy. And Martell said, you was drunk. Fuck that. And Maurice said, dismiss, bro. He said, you was drinking and driving. And he said, dismiss, bro. And the end scene. Baby, when I tell you that was a mess, that was a mess. Child, you was drinking, you was driving. And these people are not going to let you get away with it. Period, Pooh. Period. Anywho, I want to thank you guys for coming down here and listening to me run my mouth. He said, so while I was concussion, you thought it was funny. Yes, I couldn't hear that part. I thought he said, I had a concussion and I was in the hospital. But either way it go, he did mention the concussion, child. Child, when I tell you my phone has been ringing off the hook. I've been laying in this house chilling most of this morning, trying to finish my reviews, and my phone ain't ring. Soon as I get on live, baby, text messages. Anywho, y'all, thank y'all for coming down here, listening to me run my mouth about this. This episode was wild. It was crazy. Nothing was resolved. my feelings about this episode was it was again wild and crazy, and I feel like that this group didn't do anything positive about moving forward. I really wish they would move forward. I don't know what that's going to take. I hope the Destiny and Tisha issue does somehow or another resolve its way. And I also hope that Martell and the group with Maurice, that they also somehow or another figure it out, or child, let's move on with somebody else. That is the first time I heard concussion. I thought I heard it the first time, but I'm not sure, child. I'm not sure. Passion said, "Oh my God, he did," but he said I was confusing and I can't even spell it. Thank you for the midday vibe. You're welcome. You guys, I gotta go because I got a nephew at the front door. If no one told you today that they love you, I love you, and there's anything you can do about it. You guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll see you later with Real Housewives of Atlanta later on today. See you later. Bye-bye.